Hey guys, it's Kugel again with another ROM review, and this time I've got a very interesting ROM for the S3. It's called the AMCHA Rom version 7 final for the Galaxy S3, so stay tuned for that. So guys, the S3, as we all know, is still a kick-ass device, and there are huge amount of ROMs available for this device right now. And one of these ROMs is the AMCHA ROM, which I have actually been looking for some time now, because it is a stock-based ROM. It does have a lot of stuff for being a stock-based ROM, and it has a killer battery life. And this I can say from experience, because as you can see, it is 40% right now. This phone streams constantly from my NAS unit videos, well, basically TV series, and I use a Bluetooth headset to connect and use this, and that, I mean, it is ridiculous, that amount of battery life I'm getting out of my S3. So that is something which I really like about this ROM. Now let's get into the ROM stuff again. Now first of all, the lock screen is the standard Samsung lock screen, which has the ripple effect enabled right now. You do have a bunch of other effects you can select. The launcher is the standard launcher, which is, I guess it's a Note 5 launcher, so you do have that. It does have a aroma installer, which I will be getting into probably in another video, but it does give you a lot of options onto which style you want, which sort of device you want. It can be a Note 5 clone or an S5 F6 or S5 clone, so you can have that from the aroma installer. So there is a lot of stuff there. Let's get into the settings and show you guys what is available in the settings menu. As you can see, the settings menu is modeled after the Note 5 series ROM, so you do have more block styled stuff here. In the about phone page, you can see it is Android, based on Android 4.4.4. this is actually based on the latest release for the i9300 version of ROM, so that is a firmware here. It does use a new firmware and a new baseband version, so you may have to be careful about stuff there. So yeah, just in case you may not understand this, it is available. So yeah, it is a Note 4 clone, not a Note 5. So yeah, about that, I'm actually using the Boifla kernel, because that is something which I presume to be a very good kernel for a stock ROM. So that is really cool. The MP hardware stuff like that, as you can see, it is AMCHA, AMCHA. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that, but it is called AMCHA ROM KitKat version 7 final. So that is really cool. So yeah, rest everything, if you have used a Note phone, a Samsung Galaxy Note 4, 3, whatever, you probably know the layout of the settings. It's like this. It's a block layout. It does have a lot of interesting features in it, like in the Wi-Fi there is a smart network switch, which is pretty cool, which is pretty useful if you are using something like a 3G connection, which is, well, it's the only one supported in this phone. So yeah, Bluetooth is there, flight mode, everything is available. In the display settings, you do have a few stuff which has a reading mode, which is pretty cool. It is pretty self-explanatory. You can actually add applications which will automatically enable the reading mode, stuff like that. Torchlight option, you can actually enable this, and when the screen is off, pushing the volume up key will enable the torch, which is super useful. It does have an increased sensitivity when using a glove, so yeah, that is also pretty awesome. It does work out, so that's something to keep in mind. Notification panel settings. Now as you can see, the notification panel is lollipop styled. As I have already said, you do have an option to select lollipop or KitKat style, everything, basically S5 style or Note 4 style, so you can actually select from between that. So yeah, I have actually selected the Note 4 notification lollipop style. So yeah, that is what you're seeing, and there are a lot of quick settings which you can select and do stuff with. It does have an ultra power saving mode, which I found to be very useful. It does work out mostly, and it is really nice. It does have a download booster, which is really awesome. If you have a rooted phone, nothing, it doesn't really matter to you, but for someone who have used S5 for some time, it is a really useful feature. If you have a Wi-Fi and a 3G connection, it does actually give you faster speeds, which I really appreciate. You do have a flashlight, which is pretty cool. The thing I like about this one is that it is pretty instantaneous in the operation and stuff, so that's really nice. In the notification panel, you can actually customize what all stuff comes in the first notification panel and what all comes in the full menu, so you can actually customize that. You can actually have the flashlight here, so that you can actually use flashlight from the first panel itself, so you can actually have that, so that's really nice. Now toolbox is this little dot which comes at the screen, which you can use to, yeah, this is it. You can actually click that and have quick settings. It is from the Note series of ROM, so you can actually use that. Power saving. Now in the power saving setting, this is a standard S3 power saving settings, which is really awesome. It does throttle the CPU performance because that is the one which takes up most of the battery life. It's a quad core under there, and it actually does throttle that and give you more power, more battery life on the single charge, so that's really nice. In the network settings, you do have a few stuff like this is the quick settings which you can customize and stuff, so you can actually enable, disable all of these, so that's really nice. In the network section, all of these are there. Connect and share, all of these. I mean, I'm not going to get too much into that because any other stock ROM does have that, but in a slightly different layout, so I'm not getting too much intertwined in that. In the LED indicator, you do have options like charging LEDs, all of that. The LEDs here, by the way, so if you are forgotten. Font selection, I normally like a font size of tiny because I like stuff which is like this, so yeah. Data usage, lock screen, wallpapers, all of this is available here, so that is pretty nice. Now there's also a multi-window, which is a really good feature in any Samsung ROM. If you are using Samsung ROM, you can actually select stuff like that. I'm not going to show you guys, but it is a very useful feature in any Samsung ROM, so that is a given, so that's really cool. What else do we have? You do have theme support, which is a Note 5 feature. Basically, you can select the icons and stuff like that and apply them if you like those stuff. Well, you have that. The icons will be changed now to the Note 5 style icons and stuff like that. It's really nice. It's really intuitive. It gives you a fresh feel on your phone, so that is nice, I guess. So yeah, so just to show you guys the quick selection, the multi recent task is pretty cool. It is a different version. I guess this is available in the latest Samsung ROMs, which I have tend to forgot, but it is a lollipop implementation, so you do have that options available, so that's really nice. Now floating messages are really cool. I mean, almost all big screen phones right now have this feature, which is like a floating window will appear there and you can actually select a lot of stuff with that, so yada you'd have a lot of stuff with that. So for messages, for calls, incoming calls and all that will be available there, so that's really nice. Now one-handed operation, this is really cool. You can actually swipe from the corner of side and you can actually enable this thing and you can actually do this gesture and actually use the phone in one hand. That is a very useful feature, which I have just enabled that, and you can actually use this with one hand. I'm not really sure the usefulness of this thing on a Note 4 on a S3, but it is still really cool to just show off maybe, so that's really nice. So yeah, the other stuff, you do have a blocking inbuilt, so you don't have to use a particularly different application to actually do stuff like this, so that is really nice to have. So that's really something which I appreciate. Smart screen is there, which you can actually enable with smart stay, smart pause, smart scroll, which I personally did not like, and well, it's quite difficult to get it working, so it's not practical at all. So yeah, it also has this feature called a safety assistance, which is pretty cool. I mean, you have to add it in the accessibility settings and all that. You can actually select a primary contact, and by pressing the volume up and down buttons together, you can actually send a safety broadcast to that person you have selected, and yeah, it will be alerted. It's sort of like an alert system, so you can actually have that. And it does come with S Planner, which is pretty cool. I mean, okay, if you have ever used S Planner, you will find it to be a really good godsend, because yes, S Planner does work in a lot of ways similar to what any other calendar would, but it does have a very useful assistant like qualities, which I really appreciate. So that's really nice. So that much is it in the settings menu. So that is the stuff which you receive in this setting stuff. Well, again, it is a KitKat ROM, so you do have the option of using expose modules, which I personally am a huge fan of, and I really appreciate using that. So that is really nice. It does come with the 1M exposed application. Well, it does come with the Plus installer, which is built into the Aroma installer. So that is really nice. So you do have that. These are the stuff which comes with the ROM. These are the applications which you can use, and it also has this super kids mode, which I personally think this is a joke, but it does work. I have actually selected a password for this and actually working stuff. So you can actually restrict your phone to be used by a kid, and a lot of stuff can be done here. So I'm not really sure. You can actually select that, and going off from this requires a password, or else it will not let you out of this. So yeah, I've just gotten that. So yeah, pretty cool. So now just want to tell you guys about something which is there in this ROM, which I am not particularly a fan of. In this theme, at least, you can see that the text here is not very legible. There are stuff which you can see that by clicking it does give you stuff, but it is not very legible on the notification panel, which is something which I would have liked to be addressed. Yeah, I guess that is just how it is. So yeah, so guys, let me show you guys the Antutu benchmark score, which is pretty good. Again, I don't want to give you guys any false expectation. This is a super filled ROM, so you are going to have a bit of a performance hit. So yeah, just enjoy. So guys, there you have it. That is the score which I received, which I've already said is not an earth-shattering score, which is about 22,000, which is probably on the lower side, because all the Lollipop ROMs can get about 24,000, 25,000. So yeah, again, which I've already said, this is a loaded ROM with Note series level of stuff crammed into an S3. So you are going to be having a few stuff missing in that. So that's just the course of it. So yeah, I guess that much is it about the ROM. In the conclusion, I would like to tell you guys that this ROM is quite similar to Blackota S4 ROM. So Blackota Note 5 ROM, if I'm not correct, if I'm not wrong, Blackota Note 5 ROM. Okay, but using both of these ROMs, this one I found it to be a bit more user friendly for me. Basically, my brother uses this ROM, and he actually described that this is much more easier for him to use than the Blackota Note 5 ROM. So I'm not really sure why that is, but that is the feedback I got in this ROM. So yeah, I guess that much is it about the ROM. Hope you guys liked the video. Please share, subscribe, and like the video if you found it useful. See you guys next time. Bye.